things I'm planning before November 1st to have a more successful month or weeks to follow. And it's right here. I have highlighted everything and I'm going to share with you. So I'd like to plan my whole month as in what I want to have in that month. For example, I would like to have more dates with my husband or more spend more time with my children and my husband together, or maybe having a specific date with my son or my daughters, or maybe plan some dinner with my parents, or go for a coffee with my sister. And in order to do that, like if you just call and say, hey, let's go for a coffee, it might be not appropriate because everyone is busy, everyone has jobs, everyone has to do a lot of things. And when you plan ahead, you can find out that you can craft your time around that specific activity, and it's going to be more likely to happen. So in my calendar, I always have a month ahead, and I'm thinking what I want to do and when. And then I start by planning my week. And when I plan my week, I'm thinking how my perfect week will look like. And obviously, my perfect week would look like being with my husband and my kids, not doing anything, and maybe, I don't know, win the lottery. But we want to be more realistic, like how your perfect week will be. So for me, my perfect week will be to actually have my time done and scheduled in a way where I don't have to rush in the morning, where I don't have to spend time figuring out what's for dinner, where I can spend time with my children and my husband, where I can spend time reading uh, my favorite books, and obviously have some time extra to make some videos and share with you guys. So in that, when I plan my week, I always think about the days, and we have 7 days. So I block the time when I'm at work, and then I block the time when I make dinner, and I block the time where I have specific appointments, and then I work around the other time left for me to be able to implement some other things I want to do. Then another very important thing personally for me is to plan my meals, because I notice that if I don't plan my meals, I tend to go to store more often because I don't know what I'm gonna make, and then I want to make this but I don't have all the ingredients. So I found out that when I make a menu for the week, or at least for 5 days, or for an amount of days that it's more sustainable, it's easier because I can make then a shopping list, and I basically go one time to store, I buy what I need, and maybe just when next time I go to get some bread, I can add some other things that probably I miscalculated and were eaten faster. So having your meals planned, it's actually very convenient, because when you know the amount of time that your dinner to make dinner will take, you actually can arrange your things in a way where you can have some extra work done, or maybe read a book, or maybe instead of going to store, it's going to take you an extra hour at least. So it's going to be like you always will have to be running between work and dinner. So if you plan your meals, you're going to have a timeline how long that meal is prepared. You'll have all the ingredients on your hand, and all you'll have to do is just start and make the dinner. And life is so much easier. For me, it's very hectic when I don't have my meals planned and I have to run around, and then I don't know what we're going to eat. And then the third thing is to plan my family time, what I would like my family time to be like. And here, when I say plan my family time, I don't mean that I plan everything and everyone goes along. Is that I can scratch down some activities I'd like to do, or maybe some things I'd like to do, and then I can discuss it with my husband and my kids, and we can see to choose something from there that will make us feel more closer, that will make us have fun and have that connection, where we don't do just the education, or we don't do just the don't do this, do that, okay, punished or not punished, and stuff like that. And kids like to have a structure besides just playing computer or doing some other things. They do enjoy that too, but they are actually appreciating spending time with their parents. Like I can notice on my own kids, when we just say that, okay, it's family time, where we sit and just play some silly games or watch a movie together, whatever the case is, they actually will drop their games and everything just to come and spend time with us, which makes me feel pretty cool about myself and my children. My next thing is to plan my finances, and that's very important. I notice that when we don't plan our finances, we tend to spend more money on things we don't need, and sometimes we overspend because um, other things weren't planned as well, and then you have to rush and you go just grab everything where you could probably go to another store and get something that's going to be a lot more cheaper, especially if you buy it in bulk. So for my finances, I would like to have our income, my husband's and my income together down, and then we would look how much bills, how many bills we have, and how much we would spend on the food, and how much we would like to spend on personal things. Like for example, I don't know if my husband uses anything on personal things. Probably just randomly buying coffee. I'm not sure. But me personally, I'm really needing personal things. Like I always need a book. I always need some pens. I always need something to buy for myself, for my journaling. But a book is a must. Like I don't read as fast as many books I buy, but having those books really makes me feel very good, and definitely makes me read them. And sometimes I buy books that are like having so many good good reviews, but for me it's not exactly working the way I wanted. It goes against my beliefs, or it goes against my way of thinking, and so I'm reading that, and then I have to see another book in the same direction to see if my way of thinking is not actually the right one. Maybe the author has something right to say, but I just don't quite get it. So you see, it's a chain. It's like you got one book and then you read, and then you have to get all the other books. And me reading books, it's something else. I read the book and then I find something, then I Google it, and then Google gives me the books that have good ratings on that, and then I have to read those books too. And then I go, so I start reading here, and I end somewhere in quantum physics. But it's my personal things that I would love to have. So I think that's very important, at least for me, to have the amount we can spend on personal things, and then the amount we spend on family, and what we have left. And that's going to give you a sense of knowing where your money is going. I know for myself that every time we get money and we don't actually budget, it's coming there like they came and then they're gone. And you always ask, man, I make so much money, where is the money? So that's why I plan for before November to have all of this done, so we can have a more sense of what we're doing with our money. And then also that would help us to eliminate things we don't actually need to buy. When you think about your finances, you might think that maybe you could have made that coffee at home instead of going to Starbucks, or maybe you could make yourself an extra sandwich instead of buying it. I know there's stuff and days when you have to, but many times it's just a convenience or the laziness we have, or maybe we're not plan don't plan ahead how to do it, and that's why it's important to plan everything. And next is plan my personal time, and my personal time would be how it should look like. And for me personally, I know what exactly I need, I know what exactly I want, and it's important for me to have those things. I notice that if I deviate for a day or two from my usual routine, I tend to get into this type of sadness and maybe even anxiety. So for me, it's very important to have my personal time. So I always build my personal time somewhere in the schedule. And then plan for, this is very interesting, plan for one behavior you would like to change. So you know yourself better, and people who live with you can tell you a lot about yourself. So there could be one behavior you can take a week to manage, to change, to learn how to do it differently, or maybe to concentrate on it, not to repeat it, or maybe to concentrate on it to make it better. For example, yeah, if I don't usually, maybe I don't at all take the trash out. I know that my son does that and my husband does that, but maybe sometimes I could work on that and help by doing that. It's like many things that we can change and do something, little things that will make others feel better too. And then I would plan one thing I want to learn, and that's very interesting. I never was very interested in cosmos, like in anything that's out there, because that's something that doesn't really interest me. But then I was reading a book, and then I found a about a neutron star, and I was like, what is a neutron star? And I started reading about it, and it was so interesting. So my thing is that I plan to learn something that it doesn't interest me necessarily. So something outside my interests, like something that I wouldn't do it if in 100 years if I just didn't accidentally saw it. So for me, it would be to plan something to learn maybe about chemistry, or maybe something how to, I don't know, do something with wood, or how to go hike. I don't like to hike either. And then for goals, I plan my goals for my free time, for my family time, and for my career. Is that although I don't plan to change my job anytime soon, it's always good to have a job goal where it will make you feel better and it could bring you more money. So this is the categories I have: what job would bring me more income and what job would make me feel better. And then I have here, what are the skills I need? So when you think about these jobs, you can think about the skills you don't have, or the skills that these jobs needs, and then develop that. And it's going to be very handy because in case you want to change your job later, you already have them started earlier, so you don't have to panic or to go unprepared into a new job anytime soon. My goals for free time will be to journal, to read, and exercise. So I'm not an exercise person. I don't like exercising. So that is a goal for me. It's a goal for me to actually, um, I have the time to exercise. I could probably read a couple pages less in a book and exercise. I just don't have the motivation for that. I don't feel like I need it. And that's one of the things I want to actually plan. I'll look for some videos or something online so I can save it to my phone so I can actually get myself exercising. And goals for the family will be to choose one thing that will make us feel closer. And that means I would ask my husband and my children, what would they feel like will bring us closer? So here are my plans for before November 1st, 2023, to see how it will change my life. I'll let you know after that.